A Canadian investigation lab tested the biggest tea brands on the shelf and found pesticide residues in most of them, with some exceeding legal limits. Then a McGill University study found that a single plastic tea bag can release billions of microplastic particles directly into your cup. Neither of those findings appears anywhere on the box. I'm counting down 11 tea brands and products you should reconsider, and 5 safer picks. Number 11. Number 11. Lipton. Lipton is the biggest tea name on earth, brewed in hundreds of millions of homes, and that scale is exactly the problem. When CBC's Marketplace program sent major tea brands to an accredited lab, Lipton's teas were among those found carrying multiple pesticide residues. And this wasn't a one-off finding, because tea is one of the most pesticide-intensive crops in global agriculture. Here's the detail most people never consider. Tea is one of the only crops we consume without washing. Whatever was sprayed on that leaf gets steeped directly into your hot water, because the entire product is the leaf. Lipton's parent company has made sustainability pledges for years, and residues found in testing were within legal limits in many samples. But legal limit and what you'd knowingly pour into your body every morning are two different standards. When your tea costs pennies per bag, the farm that grew it made even less, and cheap farming at global scale runs on chemicals. And notice what your options are as a customer. You can't wash a tea bag, you can't peel it, you can't cook the residue off, because the brewing is the extraction. Every other food gives you some defense at the kitchen sink. Tea gives you none, which is exactly why how it was grown matters more here than almost anywhere else in the store. The next brand had it worse in the same investigation. Number 10. Tetley. Tetley is the cozy British-style cuppa of a million kitchen cabinets. And in that same Canadian lab testing, Tetley samples were found carrying multiple pesticide residues as well. One of the compounds flagged across cheap teas in various tests is monocrotophos, a pesticide so hazardous it's been banned or restricted in many countries, yet it keeps showing up in testing of teas grown in regions where enforcement is thin. That's the structural issue with budget tea. The leaves are commodity sourced from whichever estates are cheapest that season, across countries with wildly different pesticide rules, then blended into a uniform taste. The blend hides the origin, and the origin is where the problem lives. Tetley the brand isn't spraying anything. Tetley the supply chain has no idea what every farm sprayed either, and neither do you. And the next name is the one that shocks people, because it's the fancy one. Number 9. Twinings. Twinings sells 300 years of London heritage, royal warrants, and a price premium to match. And the same category of testing found pesticide residues in Twinings samples too. This is the entry that breaks the comforting rule shoppers rely on, that paying more buys you out of the problem. It doesn't, because premium tea brands largely buy leaves from the same global commodity estates as everyone else, then win on blending, branding, and beautiful tins. Unless a company is testing every lot and telling you so, or sourcing certified organic, the heritage on the box says nothing about the chemistry in the bag. 3 centuries of history is a lovely story. It is not a pesticide policy. And this entry carries the biggest lesson of the whole video, so hold on to it. In the tea aisle, price is a measure of marketing, not purity. The moment you stop assuming expensive means clean, every shelf in this store gets easier to read. Quick pause. Hit like and subscribe, because we put famous labels under the microscope every single week. All set? Because the next problem isn't on the leaf at all. It's the bag itself. Number 8. Plastic pyramid tea bags. Those silky, luxurious pyramid-shaped bags that premium brands love? Many of them are made of plastic, nylon, or PET, or paper bags sealed with plastic. In 2019, researchers at McGill University steeped plastic tea bags at brewing temperature and found a single bag released around 11 billion microplastic and 3 billion nanoplastic particles into one cup. Billions from one bag into water you drink. The health effects of microplastics are still being studied, and this channel won't claim certainty science doesn't have yet. But here's a simple question. Were you ever told your tea bag was plastic? The word appears nowhere on most boxes. The bags are marketed as silky and premium, never as synthetic. You've been steeping a plastic pouch at near boiling temperatures and paying extra for the privilege. If a tea bag feels smooth and slippery instead of papery, that texture is the confession, and the temperature makes it worse. Plastics shed most aggressively at heat, and tea is brewed just below boiling, which is close to the worst-case scenario the researchers tested. The industry's response has been quiet reformulation. Some brands moving to plant-based bags without ever admitting what the old ones were made of. Watch for the phrase plant-based or biodegradable bag on newer boxes. It's the closest thing to a confession you'll get. The next offender hides in the flavor instead. Number 7. Heavily flavored dessert teas. Caramel vanilla chai, birthday cake tea, chocolate mint rooibos. The dessert tea shelf has exploded, and so has the fine print, because those flavors don't come from the plants on the front of the box. They come from natural and artificial flavorings, a legal category so broad it can contain dozens of lab-formulated compounds under 2 words. Some flavored teas also add sweeteners, candied fruit pieces, or sugar directly to the blend, turning a zero-calorie ritual into a lightly sweetened soft drink. There's nothing dangerous about most of it. There's something dishonest about selling flavoring chemistry with pictures of orchards and vanilla pods. If the tea smells stronger than a garden and lasts for years without fading, that's not nature. That's formulation. The next entry is the health section's biggest bluff. Number 6. Detox and skinny teas. The wellness aisle's detox teas promise flat stomachs, cleansed livers, and glowing skin, and they run on 2 engines. The first is marketing, because your liver and kidneys already detox you, free of charge, and no leaf improves on them. The second engine is more concerning. Many skinny teas contain senna, a powerful herbal laxative that's genuinely a medicine, approved for occasional constipation, not for daily weight loss tea. Regulators and doctors have warned about prolonged senna use, which can cause cramping, dependence, and electrolyte problems, and influencer-marketed detox brands have drawn regulatory attention for their claims over the years. Any weight that leaves you via a laxative wasn't fat. Selling medicine as a lifestyle beverage, wrapped in before and after photos, is the least honest corner of the entire tea world, and it targets the most vulnerable buyers on the shelf, people unhappy with their bodies, scrolling at midnight, sold a tea instead of the truth. If a tea promises to change your body, read the ingredient list for senna or other laxative herbs before anything else. That one check unmasks almost every product in the category. The next entry is quieter, but it's in your cup every day. Number 5. Cheap tea dust in paper bags. Ever wonder what's actually inside a budget tea bag? Not leaves. Tea grading has names for it. Dust and fannings, the smallest broken particles left over after whole leaves are sorted out. Dust brews fast, dark, and bitter, which conveniently resembles strength, and it lets brands sell tea's floor sweepings at tea prices. There's a health angle, too. More broken surface area can mean more of whatever's on the leaf, from residues to fluoride, which mature tea leaves naturally accumulate, extracting into your water faster. And some paper bags are treated with epichlorohydrin-based wet-strength resins, so they don't dissolve, another detail no box mentions. Open a cheap tea bag next to a spoon of whole loose leaf and look at the difference. One is a leaf, one is powder from the factory floor. And taste tells the same story, because whole leaf brews layered and smooth, while dust brews flat and harsh, which is why budget tea traditions lean so hard on milk and sugar. Generations learned to doctor their tea because the tea needed doctoring. The next category built an empire on looking like the alternative. Number 4. Herbal blends with undisclosed sourcing. Herbal and wellness teas feel like the safe shelf. Chamomile, peppermint, sleepy time blends with soft watercolor bears. But herbal crops face the same pesticide realities as tea, sometimes with less testing and oversight, and independent analyses over the years, including a widely publicized report targeting a famous American herbal tea brand, have alleged residues in popular blends. That specific report was disputed hard by the company, and we're not relitigating it here. The takeaway is structural. Herbal doesn't mean tested. A blend of 10 botanicals from 10 countries multiplies the sourcing question by 10, and a cartoon bear on the box answers none of it. Calm branding is not a certificate. The final avoid entries are habits, not brands. Number 3. Bottled sweet tea posing as brewed tea. The bottled tea cooler is soda's quiet cousin. Many bottled sweet teas and flavored iced teas carry 30 grams of sugar or more per bottle, right in soft drink territory, with tea itself contributing little beyond color and a health-adjacent image. The word tea does the halo work while the sugar does the sales work. Even the unsweetened bottled options have usually been sitting in plastic for months, which, after everything we just learned about plastic and hot liquid, deserves at least a raised eyebrow. Brewing real iced tea takes 5 minutes and costs almost nothing. A couple of good bags, a pitcher, and your refrigerator overnight. The bottle sells convenience and charges you in sugar, plus $1 or $3 of markup per serving for water you could have boiled. Number 2 is the trap for people trying to do better. Number 2, paying premium prices for non-organic heritage brands. Here's the pattern this entire list keeps exposing. In tea, price tracks branding, not purity. Beautiful tins, royal history, silky bags, and French names all raise the price without touching the residue question, because the only things that actually change what's in your cup are how the tea was grown and what the bag is made of. Spending $12 on a heritage tin of conventionally grown commodity tea is paying luxury prices for the same agricultural reality as the $2 box. If you're going to spend more, and you should, spend it on the 2 words that matter: certified organic and on whole leaf. Which brings us to number 1. Number 1, never checking where your tea was grown. The single biggest blind spot in the tea aisle is origin. Tea from different regions carries dramatically different residue and heavy metal profiles based on local rules, soil, and enforcement, and most mass-market boxes tell you nothing beyond a vague blend of fine teas. You would never buy meat or milk with no country of origin. Tea gets a pass only because nobody taught us to ask, and because tea marketing spent a century pointing your attention at everything except the farm, the royal warrants, the cozy mugs, the misty mountain artwork of estates the blend has never seen. Flip the box. If it names no farm, no region, no certification, and no testing, the silence is the answer, and it's the same answer for the $2 box and the $12 tin. So here's what to drink instead. 5 safer picks. First, Numi Organic Tea. Certified organic across the line. Full leaf tea in plant-based bags rather than plastic. Non-GMO verified, and unusually transparent about sourcing regions. Numi was ahead of the industry on both the pesticide question and the plastic bag question, and it's widely available in normal supermarkets, which makes it the easiest single upgrade on this list. Second, traditional medicinals. The herbal specialist done right. Certified organic, pharmacopoeia-grade herbs, meaning the botanicals are tested to medicinal quality standards, and clear labeling about what each blend does and doesn't do. This is what the wellness shelf looks like when a company treats herbs as agriculture and science instead of vibes. Third, Rishi Tea and Botanicals. The step up for people ready to take tea seriously. Organic, direct trade sourcing with named farms and regions, and primarily whole loose leaf, which sidesteps the tea bag material question entirely. You'll taste the difference immediately, because whole leaves from a named garden taste like a place, not a factory blend. Fourth, Peak Tea Crystals. A different approach to the same worries. Peak brews organic tea, then crystallizes the concentrate, and third-party tests for pesticides, heavy metals, and toxic mold, publishing the standards it screens against. No bag, no plastic, no brewing variables. For the maximally cautious tea drinker, this is the engineering solution. And fifth, organic loose leaf from a dedicated tea shop, any brand. The format is the safety feature. Whole organic leaves, a metal or glass infuser you own, and zero mystery bag material. It's also, per cup, often cheaper than premium bag tea because you're not paying for the tin, the bag, or the heritage story. Just the leaf. There you have it, 11 reasons to look closer at the tea aisle and 5 cups you can pour without wondering. Your 10-second tea test. 3 checks. 1. Is it certified organic? Because tea is the crop you drink unwashed. 2. What's the bag made of? And if the box won't say, and the bag feels silky, assume plastic and walk. 3. Does the box name an origin, a region, a farm, a certification? Because silence about origin is itself an answer. Organic leaf, honest origin, and no plastic in your hot water. That's the whole rule. If this changed how you see your morning cup, share it with the tea drinker in your life. They're steeping the same bags right now. And next up, honey, because investigators found that a huge share of supermarket honey isn't entirely honey at all, And one import scheme was so big that federal agents got involved. That's the next video. Don't miss it.